Oshta evening. Wado for watching. Hello, good evening. Thank you for watching. Before I start churning some butter over here, I thought that I would hop on because we just had a little bit of a predicament. And maybe just put it out there or let people know if they don't know already. But we would like to switch electric providers. And how I've done it in the past is I have gone through whatever means that I need to go through in order to get the rates. And I painstakingly comb through and, compare and all that kind of stuff. Well, I tried to do it this time. Some no-name companies, and what I mean no-name is like they're not the big guys that I'm familiar with, like your main ones. Because normally I just compare those guys and I'm like, oh, they've got really competitive rates, not a problem. I'll lock this in for 2 years, 3 years, something like that. I'm a big advocate for locking in that low rate for as long as possible. I have found out that is harder than you would think it is because there's all these hoops that you've got to jump through as far as what their contract states. And I wasn't aware of this, but I don't know about you, but any contract that I've ever signed in my life, like that's it. You have to go by that as far as the consumer, and then the provider has to go by that as well. Not anymore. It says in the fine print that you need to read that they are, like when you sign it, they have the right to change the rates at any time. And the first person that I was just like, this seems pretty cool. I'll go with that. Yeah, we could totally do that, right? It's like, okay, well, if you bundle this with that or whatever it is, and you pay like $9.99 a month, you can lower it by 1 cent per kilowatt hour. So it would have brought it from 11.8 cents per kilowatt hour, which is a slamming deal already, to 10.8 cents per kilowatt hour. I'm down with that, right? But my husband went to go sign up for it and was like given the runaround online. So he chats with a person like on the phone and they tried to hard sell him. And he is like, this is different from what my wife found and what we've discussed. So let me go grab my wife and we can talk about it. And it was probably like 3 cents difference. But because we had agreed on a price beforehand, he wanted to run it by me because that's just what we do, right? Unless there's just no time, then we usually make decisions without the other person and then fill the other person in on the fact that we didn't just do a knee-jerk reaction thing, that we actually thought it through. You know what I mean? So anyway, the person was like, well, why do you have to get your wife? Just go ahead and commit to it now. And he's like, you've lost me, right? And bye-bye. Anyway, so then I look up someplace else and I'm thinking this is pretty cool. We could totally do this and for 3 years. And also they were saying that they would give a kickback for anything over 2,000 kilowatt hours. But I noticed that it said, here's what the rate is for 1,000 kilowatt hours, and then here's the rate for 500. Now, in the wintertime, we don't hardly use any electric. I mean, it's just it's winter, fireplace, put one of those, what you call it, God dang it, one of those, God dog, it's really eluding me right now. Those the things that heat up, right, that you move around from room to room or whatever. God dog. Anyway, I'm trying to do this super fast so I can get back to what I gotta do. My husband, I was gonna say hubster, he is outside watering from our water catchment, and then our son's with him and he's chomping at the bit to watch his reward shows. Because he did his schoolwork great today, but we didn't get to his reward shows yet, but he knows that we won't go to bed without watching them. But anyway, I just don't want him running in where's the remote? Good Lord. Anyway, but yeah, so we use that thing to take it wherever we're at if we need it, but we actually wear clothes in our home, right? So if you get chilly, put on a hoodie, go sit by the fireplace, warm up. But yeah, so our bill is just a breath of fresh air in the wintertime. And everybody's like jacking their rates up. So like, for example, if you see something like, we'll pay for free nights and weekends, but you're going to have, or it's like one or the other, and I think some of them are doing both, but usually the lowest you're going to find on that is like 19.3 cents per kilowatt hour, and I'm like, Jesus, right? I got our bill in, and I was like, holy freaking cannoli, and I found, because we weren't in a contract with these people that we're with currently, and it was like 18.3 cents per kilowatt hour, and I was like, So I was telling my husband about it, and for his business, it's cheaper than our per kilowatt hour deal for our home. I was like, this is crazy town banana pants. So it's time for us to do a little research. But I don't like the fact that that they are kind of running a monopoly on the electric. There are no competitive prices really, unless you're willing to jump into that thing where they can spontaneously change the rate on you, and then they give you 14 days notice is what the fine print said. So I was like, 14 days notice? That's not cool, because you're sitting here trying to find what's a good plan for your home, but they've got all these layered stipulations that I feel like, because what I could do back in the day was I could just compare rates, lock something in, and just breathe a breath of fresh air for like the next 2 or 3 years with our energy bill. Not anymore. And the crazy thing is that Encore is the one who's like providing all of our ability to use the electric in the first gosh dang place, right? And then you've got, it seems like, in relation to like how many companies are now quote unquote providing, it's like an onslaught, right? So it's not just your, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 major companies anymore. You've got some really random ones. I can't remember the name of the one that I thought, maybe this will be cool. I can lock this in for 3 years. I feel like it was something called Chariot or something. I'm like, what? I've never heard of this before. My husband uses GEXA for his business, but I've only ever heard it, and I've never heard of that until he told me. I usually do like Reliant, TXU, and I feel like there was another one ever since we've owned our home, right? And that's like, I don't know, 20 years ago or something. Like, we've just literally been rotating through them. And what they used to do to get us to rotate is not only would they offer competitive rates, but they would do like a $200 gift card or something, or they would put a credit onto your bill. There are these people now that are offering those lower rates, like I had mentioned before, but you can only lock some of those in for like 12 months, and then you're right back in it again. But they'll say something like, oh yeah, for the first 1,000 kilowatt hours you use, I'll give you a $50 gift card. And I'm like, what? $50 in this day and age? I mean, it's something, right? It's better than nothing. But to be a huge electric provider in the great state of Texas, where we all know everybody's cranking on the AC during whatever and cranking on the heat during the crazy temperature shifts and everything, $50, right? That's not really enticing. And then another thing they were saying in their fine print was, let's see, they changed the rate on you when you don't use a certain amount. Oh, yeah. So they give another incentive for greater than or equal to 2,000 kilowatt hours used. They'll give, and this is different companies, they would give like $150 credit onto your deal. And I was just like, shouldn't it be the other way around? Because they're always talking about rolling brownouts. There's like blackouts as well. And we all know that our poor little Texas grid can't handle a whole lot, and with the influx of people moving into our state, I mean, that grid is just even more taxed. And then, of course, with the electric vehicles, which they put on a little thing on their screen saying, please don't charge your car at these hours. These are peak hours. Wait till like 4 in the morning to charge your car or something crazy, right? So wouldn't they offer incentives for people to not use the electric as much? I thought that was kind of weird. Greater than or equal to 2,000 kilowatt hours. That's a lot of electric. And here I am over here like, cut the light off when you're not using it because I'm trying to keep the bill down, right? It's insanity. But anyway, so I just didn't know if anybody else is aware of the shopping around for electric when it's really not you're shopping around for it and being locked into a contract, but they can change whatever they want. Oh my gosh. And the crazy thing too was not only can they change your rate, right? You're truly not locked in to that electric contract, right? For that exact rate, whatever it is. If it's, I don't know, if you lock it in for 10 point, because I think the one that I wanted to do was like 10.8 cents per kilowatt hour or something like that. And they're like, yeah, we can change it in any notice, without notice or something, or whatever they said, but they'll give you 14 days notice for you to accept it or to get out of it. Now, it also says that if you get out of your contract, like if you terminate your service before the contract is up, they will charge you $15 a month times however many months you had left on your contract. So I don't understand that. To me, if you change my rate for my electric and I don't care for the rate that you change it to, doesn't that make it fine for me to leave without penalty? Because you signed the contract for one rate per kilowatt hour and you're physically not changing it, but the company is. And it's like, but I didn't sign up for that. So I don't want that rate, right? So I should be able to opt out of it. No, there's no clause for that in there. So read the fine print. The ones that I read the fine print on, they were PDFs. So big eye roll there, you know, gotta download whatever and read whatever. But, I mean, I was skimming, boy. And then I was like, okay, Christopher, read this, please, to make sure that I'm reading this right. Like, what does this mean? And that's when he told me, yeah, contracts are only for the people who are signing them. Like, they only mean something to them. They don't mean anything. The company doesn't take those seriously. And I was like, oh my God. So how do we shop for electric? I don't understand. You know? And it makes me want to go off grid like more than ever. It's like, I don't want to do the thing where you do the solar roofing or whatever that is. And you get in, you know, deep with like $30,000-$40,000 worth of debt or something crazy. And then you have to replace the batteries like in 7 years. Like, no, I don't want to do that. There's got to be something better, right? Anyway, so good luck if you're shopping for electric, because you're not really shopping for electric, you know? Anyway, don't go hike. Till we meet again. Love you, mean it.